But how many times would you yawn in a day? We yawn because we are bored. We yawn because we are sleepy. We yawn because we are hungry. And also, we yawn when we are stressed. And mine, I'm adding one, yawning when you're anxious or when you have anxiety. That is about me. That is me. That I realized that I yawned because I was anxious. The other day when I was walking and I was doing my nature walk, I was walking alone. It was around 9 a.m. in the morning, and I was alone on the road. I realized that I yawned at a particular point. And when I yawned, I asked myself, why am I yawning? I wasn't hungry. I wasn't sleepy. It was in the morning. And I asked myself, what could be happening with me? The normal way of people thinking about yawning is that somebody is hungry. And I had taken my breakfast. I wasn't hungry. What I did, I paused. I stopped. I stood the way I'm standing today. And I asked myself, why am I yawning? I realized that on that road, there was a time I had an experience with somebody who was probably high on something. And when I neared him I was walking, so he was coming from the opposite direction. Then for me, when he neared me, he jumped up near me. And I got so scared. So at that particular point where I was now, at this point, because it was the same road that I had encountered him, I realized that I became aware, I became alert, I became, sensitive to the place. And it was so unconscious, very, very unconscious. I asked myself, what could be the reason? And the time I was standing, I just looked at it and I remembered that is the same spot that I had seen this person, and he jumped up kind of to scare me. And I said, this could be one of the other reasons why people yawn, because there are quite a number of them, as we are going to see. But for me, I said anxiety could be one, and I'm saying could be one of the causes and reasons for somebody yawning. And that is what this episode is all about. Yawning, causes, benefits, and any other thing, and also the side effects of yawning and yawning too much. We are going to look at that. Enjoy yourself as we continue going on. And I believe that this is going to help us, because yawning, as we all know, is a reflex action. Sometimes I'm sure you have realized when you yawn, the person next to you also yawns. Really a reflex action. But how many times would you yawn in a day? How many times are you supposed to yawn in a minute? We are going to continue looking at that, because I believe we usually just yawn. We tell ourselves probably it's one reason or other. And what are some of those reasons why we yawn? One, we yawn because we are bored. We yawn because we are sleepy. We yawn because we are hungry. And also, we yawn when we are stressed. And mine, I'm adding one, yawning when you're anxious or when you have anxiety. That is about me. That is me. That I realized that I yawned because I was anxious. And as we walk with you today, as we are seeing the place that we are studying today, a very nice place where it helps us to just focus. One of the reasons why yawning is important, it helps us to focus on the here and now. There's a theorist who talked about, called Gestalt. That theory is called the Gestalt therapy. He talked about the here and now, being aware of your emotions and the feelings that you're having, the here and now. And what yawning helps us to do, apart, in addition to many other things, what it helps us to do is to focus on the here and now of your emotions. How are you feeling at that point? Are you anxious? When you're anxious, you get probably to yawn, and you're telling your body, I need to focus on something different, something here. Like that day, I was able to focus on the environment and where I am standing at that point. So I'm telling myself, there is something that could happen again. So I'm aware of my body. I am aware of myself. And one thing, in addition to what I've said, the focusing, I would like to share with you, my viewer, that it's good to listen to your body. Listen to your body. What does that mean? It means you are aware, you get in touch with your feelings, with your emotions. At that particular time, you tell yourself, if I am feeling anxious, what do I need to do? Is this anxiety a lot? Where is it coming from? Would I need to change the course? Like, for example, my walking area, would I need to change that place so that it doesn't evoke the same? Or do I need to do it more so that I can identify with it? There are people who are psychologists that would tell you that there are two ways of dealing with an issue. There is what we call flooding. You get yourself into the issue that is causing you anxiety. You get flooded to it. And with a caution, you need to have support with somebody who is a therapist who can work with you so that you don't hurt yourself. Because sometimes flooding yourself with the anxiety causing issue may also have other medical side effects. And so you'd need, I would say that as a caution so that you're able to come with somebody who is going to be supportive. The other one, we call it systematic desensitization. That means kidogo, 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 kidogo. So that if it was that time of that I yawned, that it was anxiety for me, I asked myself, do I need to come to walk on that same road and that same spot quite often so that I can be able to deal with it and deal with the anxiety, deal with the emotion, the here and now of the feelings. Know your body. Listen to your body. Listen to your emotions. Just be there and know that when my body tells me this, when it alerts me on this, I need to do 1 or 2 or 3 things so that I can be better. The other reason why we yawn is for us to be alert. For example, you're in a meeting. For some of us that go to sometimes high-level meetings, sometimes you're seated there like it is an afternoon, and probably the person who is talking is monotonous. He's just talking with a monotone. And there you are, and you have had your ugali, and you have had your nice lunch, and you're seated there. And then as the person continues talking and talking and talking, you find that at some point you're yawning. And you had lunch, and then you ask yourself, why am I yawning? What the body is telling you is that you need to be alert. You need to refocus. You need to concentrate with what is going on. So the body is telling you, don't just sit at the state where you are. be focused on what is going on in the here and now, what is going on with the environment where you are. There are some people who get offended when you yawn when they are talking. And I would like to say, when you see somebody yawning when you are talking, probably you are the trainer, you are the person sharing a concept somewhere, that person is telling you, I am now ready to listen to you. I'm ready to focus on what you're saying. I'm alert, I'm awake, I am ready to hear what you're saying. That's another benefit of yawning. The other time that we yawn is when we are sleepy. We yawn, or when we are like we feel we are sleepy and like we yawn, and you find that somebody is yawning. So that is the other reason why we yawn, and so that means yawning is not a bad thing. If it is in the normal way, yawning is not a bad thing. But when do we say that you have yawned excessively? Why? And when do we say that you have yawned excessively? But before I get to that, I would like to say something. That this show is sponsored, Health Now Show is sponsored by Bansol Community Health Services. Their concern is about community health, different health conditions. They organize medical camps, they organize shows that can be able to share information with you, my viewer, with us, the public, with us, the community, so that we can be able to learn more about our health. And even like what I'm talking about today, about yawning and the benefits of it and the side effects of excessive yawning. My viewer, why again do we yawn? Hey, why again do we yawn? We yawn when we are bored. You are in a place and you are so bored, you have nothing to do, you are doing nothing at the place, and then you keep on yawning and yawning. Realize that what the body is telling you is that you need a change of what you're doing. Probably you can just stand up, walk around, and that, because the body is just speaking to you, it's communicating with you, but non-verbally is saying, change the course of the things that you're doing. Move, do something, wash your clothes, walk, go to a nature walk, go to the garden, do something, tend your flowers, tend your kitchen garden. Be where I am, like now where I am. We can see the banana plantations there. We can see the trees there. We can see on this other side, we can see the maize plantation. You can go and pluck your maize. You can go and just like now, probably sometimes there are people with maize that is being harvested. Others have maize that is ready for eating, the green maize. You can now move out from the comfort zone of where you are seated or where you are standing or where you are, and just tell yourself, I want to do a different thing. And that is why I'm so happy to talk about it today, that you get in touch of you. You get in touch of me. I get in touch with Jane. I get in touch with, if I am bored, Jane, what can you do? Move, change course. Move, change course. The other one that I want us to talk about is being hungry. That is the one most of us know. And we say we are hungry. I mean, we yawn when we are hungry. And when you hear somebody in your house, probably they are yawning, you say, they also say, I'm hungry, I want to eat. And also when you, then you are like, you ask them, are you hungry? Yeah, because generally we think about only many times that we are bored or we are hungry. But as we have seen, we have other things, other reasons why we yawn. The word yawning in Kikuyu also, it is the same way it's written and pronounced as a part of an arrowroot that is the top of the plant. The tuber is on the ground, under the ground, and then the top part that has the stem is also called mweu, and yawning is mweu. So what happens, mweu is just yawning, but in Kikuyu, when you're talking about the arrowroot, the top is mweu. That is the part that is usually planted. So people say, if you're yawning too much, you're told in Kikuyu, wauma mieo meige ogwo okahanda ki, kana waria mieo meige ogwo okahanda ki. Simply translated this way loosely, that you've yawned so much, what will you plant? You have yawned all the part of the plant that is usually planted. So it's kind of a discouragement for somebody who is yawning too much. And as I said, we know how too much is too much of yawning. So they will tease you and tell you, you've yawned too much, what will you plant? So it brings you again to what I talked about, yawning in terms of like, what does it do to you? So you change course. You realize that you catch yourself that I am yawning too much. And then, as I said, if you yawn too much, then you can see the doctor. I remember when we were growing up in a place in Nyeri in central Kenya. And we were small. And there is this old man, who used to come to visit our home. And we are sitting around the fireplace. My mom is preparing dinner. Mostly he used to come in the evening. And he would yawn. I mean, yawn. He would yawn, and yawn more. And when he was yawning, he would make some sounds. Okay, I can't be able to demonstrate and make the sounds that he was making, but he would yawn many times and make those sounds. He would, like he's picking something from the back of his mouth and bap, 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 make those sounds. And we would wonder, is it that he's yawning because of our food? He's waiting to be given this food. He's yawning because he's hungry. But as I've come to realize, hunger is not the only reason or the only factor in yawning. And sometimes the yawning can be an irritant to the people that are around you. Because when you yawn a lot and you burp or you make those sounds, the people around may not understand, or some of them may get irritated. They are like, why are you making those sounds? They are uncomfortable with those sounds. And then I realized that when we are yawning, it is good to be conscious, as much as it's a reflex action. So he used to really burp, make those sounds, and as I've said, it can be an irritant to other people. As much as it's a reflex action and you may not be able to control it, it's also good to be aware that when you make those sounds, the other people that you are around, your friends, you're somewhere in a party or somewhere, that they may not really understand you, because the issue of yawning, sometimes we don't take it seriously. Sometimes we just find ourselves we are yawning and making those sounds. How many times should you yawn in a day? If you realize that you're yawning more than 20 times in a day, you need to look into that. You need to be conscious that you are yawning more than 20 times in a day, and that may be excessive yawning. The other thing is that if you realize that you're yawning more than once in a minute, that is 60 seconds, you also need to reflect, pause, and ask yourself, why am I yawning? Is it excessive? Because when you have excessive yawning, it may be a health condition that needs to be addressed by a doctor. So next time that you yawn so much, probably even burping, making those sounds, you realize that you just be conscious that you may need to see a doctor so that he or she can rule out any medical condition. And so that if there is any medical condition that may be coming up or crawling into your life, it can be addressed as early as possible. However, yawning has also some benefits. As I said earlier, the issue of, if I may repeat a bit, the issue of being focused, being alert, changing course, and also being aware of your body functions and your body emotions. And I believe that this episode it will help you to reflect and see, do I need to see a doctor? Do I need to be seen by probably a therapist? Is it about stress that I need to deal with, so that if I'm yawning excessively, I'll be able to sit with a therapist and deal with the cause of that yawning, if it is being caused by the stress that you're having. And if it is about boredom, be active, change what you're doing, and so that you can benefit and become more active. Walking, just sitting in nature or with nature, getting in touch with nature. As I talked about the ecotherapy, ecotherapy is not necessarily just walking. There are many examples. You can do gardening, as I've said earlier. You can garden, you can sit where I'm seated right now, where there are greens, the natural vegetation. You can be in your farm, you can do any other, but the concept here is move and change the course, interrupt the process, and I'm sure you'll be able to tell me later on the comment section that I have realized that I yawn when I am this, and this is what I need to change. And if I need to see a doctor, then I can be able to see a doctor. I want to say this: there are benefits of yawning, and there are also side effects of yawning. And next time when you yawn, my viewer, be conscious. Tell yourself, what am I going through? Am I in touch with my body? Am I in touch with my emotions? What is disturbing me? And I believe that you'll reap the benefits of yawning as much as is a reflect action. And until next time, realize, reflect on why you yawn and the reasons why you yawn, and how it can help you to change the course and live quality life. Thank you so much. God bless you.